Some groups fear that President Duterte will pardon former First Lady Imelda Marcos after she was found guilty of graft by the Sandigan Bayan.
The palace, however, says the president will have to revert to the recommendations of the Justice Department. Here's the report.
Premature and speculative. This is how the palace described concerns of some sectors regarding the possibility that President Duterte might grant pardon to former First Lady and incumbent Ilocos Norte Representative Imelda Marcos. This came after Sandigan Bayan ordered her arrest after being found guilty of 7 counts of graft. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo says that before granting pardon to convicts, the president will first consider recommendations of the Board of Pardons and Parole as well as the Justice Department. Panelo adds that Duterte will also weigh in all factors as a matter of course and policy before he exercises his right to grant clemency. The palace is reacting to statements of some militant groups who fear that the former First Lady will likely be pardoned by Duterte, considering how the president has publicly expressed his administration over the late dictator Ferdinand Marcos. Labor group Bukluran ng Manggagawang Pilipino even says that Duterte may cite old age as a reason for Imelda's clemency. Former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay meanwhile calls on the PNP to arrest Marcos immediately, like what they did in the case of Senator Antonio Trillanes. Hilbay adds that the police's inaction is proof that the admin is only serious in running after its critics and not its allies. The former First Lady, though, seems unfazed with the call for her arrest. She was even seen partying at her daughter's birthday party hours after the anti-graft court released its decision. The charges are in connection with her financial interests in Swiss foundations when she was Minister of Human Settlements and an interim member of Congress. Out of the 10 cases, Marcos was found guilty in 7 and was acquitted in 3. The court says they found that Marcos organized, coordinated, and even directed the movements of the 7 foundations, showing how she controlled her assets for personal financial interests.
Nagkaroon ho siya ng financial interest dito sa mga Swiss foundations na to. As to the amount, paiba-iba ho kasi, pero it involves 7 Swiss foundations. Tapos, kino-close yung isang foundation, ita-transfer dun sa isang foundation, and then they close it again, transfer sa isang foundation. So, na-trace po yung flow ng pera.
The court also says that the evidences suggest the foundations were put up for entrepreneurial activity, filling up the bank accounts of the Marcoses.
Siguro aabot ng mga, kung hindi mo, mga $200 million siguro.
Marcos has been sentenced to at least 6 to 11 years of imprisonment for each count and perpetual disqualification to hold public office. But even with the order, the prosecution says the battle is not yet over.
Yung warrant of arrest naman po, parang binigyan siya ng 30 days to explain doon sa yung kanilang absence. And then, pag nagpakita naman ho siya sa court, pwede naman i-lift yung warrant of arrest. Kasi nga may remedies pa ho siya available. And may remedies pa naman po si First Lady. So, if she will avail of those remedies, pwede pa rin siya makatakbo. Pwede niyang iakyat sa Supreme Court kung may nakita siyang grave abuse of discretion doon sa desisyon ng Sandigan Bayan. So, hindi pa ho siya final and executory.
The former First Lady herself has earlier said that their legal counsel is already studying the decision. Bella Toledo, We Are One News.